Hello and welcome to our channel. In today's video, we delve into a critical and evolving issue in contemporary geopolitics, the potential ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine. Since the conflict began in February 2022, the world has witnessed massive human suffering, economic repercussions, and geopolitical shifts. But as we step into 2025, talks of a possible ceasefire are once again gaining traction. What has changed? Why now? And what could it mean for the future of Eastern Europe and global security? Let us take a comprehensive look. To understand the current dynamics, we must first revisit the origins of the war. In February 2022, Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine, citing security concerns regarding NATO's eastward expansion. Ukraine, under President Volodymyr Zelensky, mounted a strong and sustained resistance backed by Western countries including the USA, the European Union, and NATO allies. The war has led to hundreds of thousands of casualties, displacement of millions, and extensive destruction of infrastructure. Despite multiple rounds of talks in 2022 and 2023, no long-term agreement was reached. Both sides have remained entrenched, and a military stalemate has defined much of 2024. In recent months, there has been a notable shift in tone and strategic calculus. The following developments explain the renewed push for a ceasefire. War fatigue. Both Russia and Ukraine have suffered significant losses. Public sentiment in both countries is gradually shifting towards conflict resolution rather than escalation. Economic pressures. Western economies are dealing with inflation, supply chain disruptions, and energy crises. Meanwhile, the Russian economy, though resilient due to trade with China and India, is feeling the long-term effects of sanctions and international isolation. Western political dynamics. With elections looming in the United States and political shifts in Europe, there is growing urgency to wind down the war. The West is reportedly less unified than before in sustaining long-term military aid. China's role Beijing has emerged as a behind-the-scenes negotiator, leveraging its close ties with Moscow and growing influence in global diplomacy to push for de-escalation. Neutral mediation efforts. Countries like Turkey, India, Brazil, and South Africa are increasingly being seen as potential neutral players who can facilitate dialogue. While the official blueprint is yet to emerge, analysts suggest the ceasefire may include freezing the conflict lines, with Russia retaining control of parts of eastern Ukraine and Crimea, at least temporarily. Suspension of NATO expansion talks related to Ukraine, prisoner exchanges, humanitarian corridors, and demining operations, international observers to monitor the ceasefire under a possible UN or OSCE mandate, negotiations on long-term political status of contested territories like Donetsk and Luhansk. It is important to note that Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity remain non-negotiable in the eyes of Kyiv and its Western backers, which makes the situation highly sensitive. Despite the positive signals, there are substantial roadblocks. Distrust between the parties, Russia and Ukraine, accuse each other of bad faith, making genuine reconciliation difficult. Domestic political considerations. Zelensky faces internal pressure to not concede any territory, while Putin cannot be seen as backing down without achieving victory. Lack of enforceable guarantees. Previous agreements like the Minsk Accords have failed due to lack of enforcement and violations. Third-party interests. The strategic objectives of external actors, especially the US, NATO, and China, often pull in different directions. A ceasefire, even if temporary, would have significant global consequences, stabilization of energy and food prices, especially in Europe, Africa, and South Asia. Redefinition of NATO and EU's roles in global security. Enhanced diplomatic role for the global South, particularly India and Turkey, as peace brokers. Shifting balance of power. It may consolidate Russia's sphere of influence in parts of Ukraine and embolden other regional powers. India has maintained a balanced and principled neutrality throughout the war, advocating for dialogue and diplomacy, ensuring energy security through strategic oil imports from Russia, upholding international law and territorial sovereignty, without explicitly condemning either side. India's credibility as a neutral mediator is growing, especially within platforms like the G20, BRICS, and Shanghai Cooperation Organization, SCO. In conclusion, the expected ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine marks a potential turning point in international politics. While the road to peace is fraught with complexity, the very discussion of a ceasefire reflects war fatigue, changing power dynamics, and the evolving nature of 21st century conflict resolution. Let us remain cautiously optimistic, remembering that true peace requires not just the absence of war, but the presence of justice and mutual respect. If you found this analysis insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content on international relations, current affairs, and UPSC preparation. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think the ceasefire will hold? What should India's role be in this evolving situation? Until next time, stay informed and stay analytical.